The Eagles are the ones that tried to change their commitment at the 11th hour, and the president, frankly, thinks that the fans deserve better than that, and therefore we changed the ceremony to be a focus on celebrating our great country.
There you go. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders addressing President Trump, disinviting the Philadelphia Eagles to the White House. This coming as the Eagles head coach is scheduled to speak out during a news briefing this morning. We have former NFL players here to weigh in right now. Joining us right now is the CEO of the Brewer Group and former NFL safety Jack Brewer, along with former Oakland Raiders safety Burgess Owens. Great to see you both, gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us.
Great to be here.
So what do you think? Burgess, kick us off here. What's your take on the president canceling on the Eagles?
Well, I think what you're seeing is leadership, number one. These young men are beginning to see the expectations that should be had from all our young people, black and white. That is, it's called respect. If you don't respect the office, you don't respect the White House, if you feel this is the time to demonstrate, stay home. At the end of the day, these young men, in the next couple of years, next 5 to 10 years, and they realize what they've missed out on, is they see that they're missing out on it, and not the rest of us who really love our country and love the flag, and we like to make sure we respect it.
How do you see it, Jack?
I'm with Burgess on the respect thing. I just think in this situation that I think something's been lost here. I think President Trump missed a huge opportunity. If you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, you're talking about a ball club that stood up for every national anthem this season. They're led by, a gentleman by the name of Michael Jenkins, and I think he's one of the greatest black leaders that we have today in America. I think something's been lost here. I mean, this is a great opportunity, I think, for those guys to go to the White House and actually have a positive conversation about how we can move towards social justice in our country. And I think that's been lost. And for me, as a former Eagle, it's sad. I was really hoping to see that team come together, go to the White House, sit across from our president, and have these discussions. President Trump right now on the race relations really is struggling when it comes to millennials and young African Americans and people of color. And that has to stop. There's so many great things happening in our country right now. You see these unemployment numbers, and you see all the positive momentum we're having economically. We just got to find a way to come together.
Well, and the reason why President Trump's having some problems is that we're not getting the message. The message is very simply this: is that we've had a really rough time for the last 10 years in terms of the black community, in terms of misery. And President Trump is the one person who stopped unemployment. He stopped the killing of our young babies. He's improving education that our kids need to have. All those things that really do count, that are not being talked about, is really where the president is stepping up. And I agree with Jack. The team should have come together, but it is a team effort. And what our young people, our young men, particularly black men, need to see is what it is to respect our country, respect authority, respect police, respect women. And this is an opportunity to see what it looks like. If you don't expect or respect it, you don't appreciate it, then stay home. And that's what they're doing this time around.
I'm just curious what you guys think about the fact that the president, look, the Eagles were, over the weekend, fewer and fewer of them were going to go. And so the president canceled the event. But the fact that he pivoted to making this about kneeling versus about something else, because this is, Jack, to your point, this is a team that did not kneel the whole time. So how do you feel about the fact that the president made that pivot?
I don't like it at all. Again, I think President Trump leads on so many things, but on this one, he's not leading. This is not good. This is not good for America. Everybody, America, the Philadelphia Eagles do not kneel. These men are out in the community. They are feeding the hungry. They're fighting for social justice. These are some great men. I can't sit here on national TV and not stick up for them.
Yeah, but was it a political stunt, Jack? Did the Eagles play a political stunt? All of a sudden they said it was one number, then next thing you know, it's only a few of them.
No, I think what happened, Maria. I think what happened, Maria, is inside that locker room. These guys are in their off season, and if you look back historically. Guys like Tom Brady didn't go to the White House. People are busy during this time, and I think if you layer on top of that the fact that race relations are not good when it comes to talking about our president right now. I think President Trump, if he called in these African American players, and I've been saying this for 2 years now, bring in these African American players, bring them to the White House, sit across. President Trump is a leader. This man knows a lot of black people. He's dealt with them all of his life. Let's talk about these issues and do something about it.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
Can I say something real quick? Well, the problem is this: is the NFL has a brand now, a brand problem. The brand now has become anti-American, anti-flag. So you don't take this opportunity when they're now coming up with new rules of saying we don't protest. Let's respect the flag, respect the American people. Well, how about this? If you take that opportunity, come to the White House. Meet the person that you're having these issues with, and have a conversation. Civil conversation is one of the things that we're missing out on. And right now, the NFL brand needs to stand up and stop this protesting process.
Good point.
Burgess, wouldn't you, it's Stega McDowell, wouldn't you say that again that everybody needs to take the higher road and take the high ground? Because again, there is a lot of resentment among some players and even in the black community because President Trump in that rally he had referred to some of the players who were kneeling as SOBs, and he actually spelled it out. There's a lot. Again, I know it's just one phrase, and ultimately you got to let it go, but there's a lot of resentment over that one line.
And never been an apology, Dagan, and these are 25-year-old men.
Let me just say this.
Go ahead, Burgess.
Well, let me just say this. There should not be a resentment. These guys call each other much worse than that. At the end of the day, we're talking about our country, and it's time for us to particularly black men. And I came through a generation when my dad was so super proud of our country, proud of our race, and it's time for us to let these young boys, these young kids that are looking up to these men, 70% of them don't have fathers, 85% of them and going through this process of just trying to make it. They need to see men who stand up and respect, period. Authority, police, women, and our country.
Burgess, you're a former Super Bowl champion. How big of an honor is it to go to the White House?
Well, we didn't get a chance to do that. And I'll tell you this, I would have loved to have gone to the White House. And even though I'm not I wasn't a fan of President Obama, I would have been there because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Some of these guys 10, 15 years from now, when their fame and their fortune is gone, is going to recognize these were the times they should have taken full advantage of it and not get on the opposite side of the American fan.
All right,
Americans do not want to see anti-American protests.
Well, that's true. Jack Brewer, Burgess Owens, thank you so much. You both made great points. We appreciate it.